Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and yesterday we got a brand new teaser for Peacemaker Season 2, which is a weird one. You know, we are just now starting up the DC Universe with James Gunn's Superman coming out, and I guess, what was it, Monster Squad, or whatever that other one was, the animated monster DC show. I guess that technically was the beginning of it. And this is a weird one because season 1 of Peacemaker is technically not entirely canon. Like, they're basically, what they're doing is that anything that matches up with the new continuity is still canon, but specific things that would not make sense in the new DC continuity, you're supposed to ignore those specific scenes or pieces of dialogue or whatever. So for example, at the end of season 1 of Peacemaker, when the Justice League shows up and it's the Flash and Aquaman talking to each other, you're supposed to ignore that. That did not happen. That's not canon anymore. Now this is season 2 of that same show, and this season will be entirely canon, so you're gonna see the new continuity versions of whatever superheroes. So I know that's confusing, but basically just know that when you watch season 1 of this show, there's gonna be very specific instances, and it's only like once or twice, where you're like, okay, that definitely doesn't make sense anymore with the new Superman and the new Green Lantern and the new this and that. So that doesn't happen. Ignore that. You know, you could almost like edit that out and be like, oh, okay, that whole Justice League part at the end, that did not happen. Anyways, let's go ahead and watch this teaser and see what's going on.
They're gonna be doing backflips to get you to join.
Welcome, Peacemaker, or do you prefer Chris?
Either's fine.
Can you tell us a little about your skills?
I'm considered the finest marksman in the world.
Sean Gunn always has to be
I
there.
am also proficient in hand-to-hand combat.
How many more of these do we have today?
Is that Green Lantern? Oh, it's
popcorn.
My buds are getting really big lately, so.
I have a variety of helmets.
This guy sucks.
Excuse me? Am I supposed to be able to hear you guys?
Excuse me?
You were talking about your butt and stuff? And also you said that I suck?
It is not funny.
Okay, so Sean, that's right, Sean Gunn's playing
I don't get
Maxwell Lord.
We saved the world.
I thought everyone would finally treat us like heroes.
I don't need anybody else to just forge my own path.
You're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, yeah, I guess they're no longer
You suffer from a particularly severe form of toxic masculinity.
What?
Argus has been monitoring Peacemaker ever since Rick Flag Sr. was named director.
Does he know that I have?
Kill this time. Yeah.
Bring me Peacemaker.
Mexicali, you scan for any anomalies throughout that house. Pony Boy, don't let him out of your sight. Titties, I want you to take the front door. Encino Man, you take the back door. Got it?
Yeah, but not the fucking names, dude. You can't just call us that.
Where do you think we are? Fucking Berkeley?
wide titties. Okay.
We haven't always been great people. But
We are the 11th Street Kids. No one will ever break us apart.
you ready for the next adventure, pal?
Nice.
Who the fuck are you?
Interesting. Okay. Oh, is there more? No, that was it. Okay, so it definitely feels like you know, that last sequence might be in his mind, you know, because we see like all of his dad's, I think this is dad's stuff. So yeah, that might have all been in his mind somewhere. Or, well, it's all like a weird pocket dimension, right? Like his very racist father somehow was able to create like pocket dimensions and stuff. I don't know. That seems like really advanced technology, but all right. Let's see who's. I thought maybe this is an Easter egg. I can't tell who this is or what this is supposed to be, but I'm in the billboard. So yeah, lots of stuff. So Rick Flag Sr., who was in that monster show. I cannot. God damn it! I can't remember what the name of the monster show was. Monster Squad? No. I can't remember. Anyways, basically the animated monster show was really cool. Lots of Easter eggs for future stuff. And so Rick Flag Sr. is here, and we know he's also going to be in the Superman movie. And of course, we have Green Lantern, Sean Gunn, who's playing Maxwell Lord. And I believe the whole idea is that Maxwell Lord has a... Here we go. Maxwell Lord is leading the Justice League of America, I think. I think that's what they're called. And so you have Hawk Girl and Green Lantern here. That's pretty cool. And they're interviewing, for some reason they're interviewing in this like random, like messed up looking building. But anyways, pretty cool. And I guess they reject him from their team. So this is definitely going to be before the Superman movie, maybe. Well, hold on. When does Superman comes out? Like in July, right? When does this come out? Wait a minute. August. Okay, so maybe this takes place afterwards. Now I'm not so sure. My thinking was that in the Superman movie, I thought the Maxwell Lord led version of the JLA was going to get disbanded because, you know, I am assuming he's going to end up becoming revealed to be corrupt at some point. That is what ends up happening in the comics. Spoiler alert. Maxwell Lord, not a good guy in the comic books. There's, I believe it's Infinite Crisis is where like a lot of this ends up happening, or like right before. It's like the lead up to Infinite Crisis. Was that Countdown? Or no, Countdown was to Final Crisis. Anyways, my point is, yeah, Maxwell Lord, not a great guy. Kind of murderous Blue Beetle. The original Blue Beetle. Anyways. So yeah, we're gonna get a lot of cameos, a lot of connections to Superman and the Monster Squad. Yeah, pretty cool. Now, they're definitely like the whole squad here, the whole team, Peacemaker's team. They're definitely not members of what even. See, I can't remember now. I'm gonna have to go watch season 1 again. Amanda Waller's not Shield. You know, the DC version of Shield where that Amanda Waller runs. Was it Argus? I don't remember if it's Argus or not. Anyways, that's what Amanda Waller led, and at the end of that season they basically investigated her and they had to stop her from doing specific things like you know, using human teams, and that's why she ends up leading the monsters, because the monsters are not considered humans. So she was able to create that team basically as a loophole to get around whatever new law they put in place for her. But now we see Rick Flag Sr. is in charge of Argus, and they're hunting down Peacemaker for some reason. Not sure why. But yeah, pretty cool. I enjoyed that first season a lot. I felt like, you know, between that and James Gunn's Suicide Squad, you know, even before they were rebooting the DC universe, he was building his own like really connected thing here, and it felt like a lived-in universe where like all this stuff already exists and we're being introduced to it through, you know, through Peacemaker. this goofball here. And so, you know, now that we're connecting to a bigger universe, a completely different one, you know, with James Gunn more in control, he's able to plant these seeds for Superman and make a lot of those connections still exist. Now, I will say, Maxwell Lord still being around and still hanging out with Green Lantern and Hawk Girl, that's a little surprising. I thought that was not going to happen in Superman, but assuming that this, you know, continuity-wise takes place after Superman, because Superman's going to come out like in July, then I guess we know our answer now. Unless they are going to say that this season takes place before Superman, which is also possible, I guess. You know, there shouldn't be too much of a problem other than the fact that these guys are showing up here. Which, by the way, is this Dina from The Last of Us? I think I'm just now realizing that. Is this Dina from The Last of Us? Look at that. I just did a review of the last the episode The Last of Us that just came out, so that's pretty funny. There she is. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited for Peacemaker. I'm excited for the DC universe. I hope it all still works out. It's, you know, there's a lot of connective tissue here and it's really working for me. So Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I know there's a lot of people out there that even in the year 2025 are still really bitter about the Snyderverse and everything that happened there. I'm just hoping that as time goes on, more and more people just say, like, just accept that, like, that's not coming back. It's not happening. You know, we have all very much moved on. Anyways, I hope that this universe works out. You know, we're still at its infancy stage. There's still a lot of things that could go horribly wrong. If Superman does not work, like, if, you know, money-wise, I'm talking, like, if it's, for whatever reason, it just does not make that much money, that could be a problem. You know, there's just a lot of, I think, anxiety with, like, okay, let's see if this all works out. Like, he's definitely got a plan. I think that's probably the best thing he's got going for him, is that I have no doubt in my mind that James Gunn absolutely has a plan. You know, it's been well documented that the Marvel Universe was not nearly as well planned out as a lot of people think that it was. There's a lot of people out there that, like, really believe that, like, oh, everything up to Endgame was, like, very well tightly planned. Like, no, a lot of it, if you look behind the scenes, a lot of that stuff they were making up, you know, step by step. They're just like, how do we, sure, say that thing was an Infinity Stone, why not, you know? Like they were just kind of making a lot of that stuff up as they went along. James Gunn legitimately does have a plan here, and that's pretty exciting. So hopefully we get to see it all happen. You know, I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.